Welcome, children of the net, to this spooky reading of fun fiction that we used to do, and now we're doing again, because it's spooky season with your friends, Devar Arkvaron.
Greetings one and all to this creepy night
of terror. And also we have Matti, aka hedonistic actor from the land of eternal winter.
Well, kind of exaggerating, but yeah, my...
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, that was, with that firmly established, welcome to Team Yuma's Dramatis Lectio, when we have the dirty deed to continue on the evisceration of my troubled legacy in fanfiction form.
Sounds like a lovely time for all.
Yes, last time we were here, we finished up reading Silver and Blaze, the, I believe, third chapter, not counting the interlude, of my Tales saga, which, I will remind you once again, was my original attempt to reboot and rewrite the entirety of the Sonic the Hedgehog multiverse, which came about as well as expected.
And if this Discord log is to be believed, that was 11 months ago.
Yes, it was almost 1 full year ago. It's been a while, as I said. I've been hesitant to continue on this venture for the simple reason that we are about to hit the truly darker and most despicable part of that saga. And considering everything that happened up to this point, that is saying quite a lot, isn't it?
This video will not be monetized.
I hope I can somehow find an excuse to monetize it, with the excuse again that it's an Halloween video, so it's expected to be less savory than your usual.
No, you don't understand. It's meant to educate about these issues.
Well, I don't know about educate about a particular issue, but I think
it's meant to raise awareness.
Raise awareness, maybe, but I think it's more apropos to consider this particular next chapter that we're about to read of the Tales saga as a cautionary tale about how not to approach, how not to frame, and how not to write in general of certain very specific unsavory topics. And the topic in question is abduction and maybe possibly sexual assault.
Yes.
Listen, I am not proud of my past. I used to be a uneducated, unenlightened... What a weird choice of words. Overall terrible human being, a misanthropic loner and loser with no concept of social interaction. I was a very sad human being indeed. And this story that I have posted, that I have made public online, is a testament to how awful I used to be, how misguided I used to be in my younger years before I eventually, with so many difficulties, managed to somehow mature a little bit from that. So, again, take this reading as what it is, which is to say a
time capsule, I would say.
Time capsule, and also everything else that we said it is. Something terrible, misguided, that should not be done, and we are going to eviscerate it as it goes. Like I said, I've been extremely hesitant to tackle this story, and believe you me, this one is not even the worst of it. There is far worse after this one.
I guess that means we should.
So if you want to know how worse it will get, find out in the next episode.
I honestly don't know when that is going to happen, but as far as this episode goes, The story in question is Chapter 4 of the Tales saga, or Episode 4 if you will, which is a one-shot. Refreshingly, it is not a multiple chapter affair this time around, so it's going to be short at the very least. Mercifully short, but it's packed with infamy.
Well, I am curious to read this because it says the genre to be humor/romance.
Do you see?
Yeah.
Do you see? Do you realize? Do you understand how terribly misguided I was? My notion of humor was something that I have developed by watching freaking Drawn Together. That should give you all the idea of what to expect from this travesty.
Yeah, I think I got everything from just that confession.
As a teenager, I clearly liked Drawn Together like all dumb teenagers because it was so edgy, you know? And look at the character. He's a parody of SpongeBob, but he's psychotic. Ah, that's funny. And look at the superhero guy. He's a pedophile, a necrophile, a deviant, and genocidal. That's edgy, you guys. Oh, and Betty Boop is fat and a porn star. That's so edgy! Edgy humor, you guys! Drawn Together can burn in hell. Honestly, for all that it matters.
Yeah, I haven't seen this show.
It's yet another show that tried to be South Park without realizing or understanding what made South Park work in the first place. Which is to say, having an actual point beyond the edginess.
Yeah, there seems to be characters like Spanky Ham and Foxy Love, and that tells me
I
everything.
don't even want to... You know what? Let's begin reading this, because as bad as it is, at least it's not Drawn Together.
So shall we delve into the past darkness and fear that shall embed itself into the minds of the weak, the feeble, the meager?
There is no Ixis Nogos for you two boys, sadly.
Which, according to the writer, is that, to paraphrase the writer, we are going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned love triangle.
Oh,
Oops,
no.
I see.
Again, these are all red flags. Take them at face value.
I just love the title, by the way, of this fanfiction. Amy, Mephiles, and Shadow.
So
That is all it is. The characters' names are the name of the novella. I don't know what you call this. Fiction.
Yes,
Yeah, we'll call it
fanfiction.
that.
I like that you call it novella, so basically you're putting this on the same height as The Last Unicorn. No, I actually like The Last Unicorn, thank you very much.
Sorry, I've been kind of sarcastic.
Anyway, so this is again Amy, Mephiles, and the Shadow. If you recall, Shadow and Mephiles are inhabiting the same body in my twisted universe, and they have kidnapped Amy at the end of the previous story. And apparently we are joined by a late arrival tonight.
Oh, so we have Icipall coming in now. We'll see what his excuse is for being late. Hi, Icipall.
Hello.
Yes, you have joined us, and we're in mid-recording right now, just so you know.
We haven't started yet reading, so you just missed out on the introduction, which is for the best because you will be delightfully surprised by it.
Yes.
I shall temper my expectations.
Yes, temper them accordingly.
Yes, temper them with the fear you feel.
Yeah, it's too late for that.
The suffering of the many.
I never played The Suffering. Is it any good?
I've heard it's good.
I only remember the name of the villain, which was Dr. Killjoy.
Oh gosh.
That's great.
Okay, so shall we begin reading then?
We shall begin. So, who shall begin reading? That's the question here.
Actually, we should be asking who shall be narrating then?
Yes, that's what I was asking. Who shall be narrating this then?
It's the Amy, Mephiles, and Shadow.
Yes.
So now we need to decide who narrates first. So
How well are you versed on the Sonic lore?
The actual Sonic lore, not much. My experience with the Sonic games themselves are playing little bit of the original Sonic the Hedgehog on my friend's Mega Drive.
Good, because this will not help you in the slightest. Icipall, I assume you've been hearing to our live readings of this fanfiction up to this point.
Oh yes, I've watched every Dramatis Lectio.
Good, good.
Oh, God.
He's up to speed, you guys. Perfect. Let's begin.
Yes.
Then
Absolutely.
you should know what I said last time about this particular part of the story.
Oh, I remember, and just seeing the first few paragraphs are just yay.
Well, this is
Yeah.
not even the worst of it. The worst is yet to come, and it will come at some point. But let's begin regardless. So I'll be narrating.
Let's not talk about coming in this context.
Icipall, I'm going to kick you out of this chat forever.
No, please. He's a good boy.
He needs to be disciplined.
Worth it.
Okay, so Amy, looks like I think it's Amy talking first, so...
You
Yeah.
were always
Yeah.
Amy, so
Yeah.
go nuts.
What are you gonna do with me?
She had to ask that question. I am not going to rape you for now.
Spoken like every webcomic that ever was made for porn.
He casually responded, actually, Matti, would you like to be Mephiles?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
then...
not going to rape you.
I love the enthusiasm.
I'm not going to rape you for now.
Wow, the gravitas in that delivery.
It said he casually responded.
He casually responded. So casual! He's so casual about rape! Isn't that wonderful, folks?
I tried to destroy space and time. This is nothing to me.
It hasn't been a good day for Amy Rose. Understatement of the century. The young, unlucky pink hedgehog. Ellipsis. Then again, it hasn't been a good month and a half for that matter. More ellipsis. In all of her young life, all she wanted was to be loved. Ellipsis. She obtained it not very long ago. Just not in the way she imagined it. This is some weird Twilight Zone episode. She became the object of interest of an obsessive black and red hedgehog who tried to rape her at least twice. Why am I so candid about it? I hate it! And she almost let him do it. Oh, God. This is all established. This is all established lore up until this point. I'm not saying anything new, but the way I am saying it, it's so ellipsis.
Yes.
Teenage
So-
Madhog is like, I must hammer it home. People must know. They must get the point.
Early college days, Madhog, you mean?
It is possible that this is someone's first introduction to the Tales saga, so you have to tell something that happened before.
Yes,
Yeah.
great way to recap, by the way.
Let's
Only
continue,
the
guys.
most important information.
Then she found out that this so-called ultimate life form had a brother that lived inside his head and occasionally came out for doing chaos knows what. It turned out that this seemingly nicer brother had an interest in the girl too, and that she would have willingly accepted him.
This is the weirdest episode of Friends I've ever seen.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. I want to go inside you.
Oh no.
Besides, you don't see it properly. It's not ultimate life form, it's ultimate life form.
Okay, listen, if I were to do the shadow voice every time ultimate life form appears on screen, I would have lost my voice a long time ago.
It's like the drinking game for voices.
That until the very light, black and dual green hedgehog didn't knock her unconscious and tied up somewhere in a creepy dark place. Yes, that will end relationships. usually.
Yeah.
And so, there they were. Ellipsis. She was petrified by fear! Not for fear, by fear. I got it right. He was coming closer. His snaky eyes.
Snake eyes!
It's not how you say it, but okay, I'll take it. His snaky eyes had quite the scary effect in the darkness. They glow, you see.
If you don't want to abuse me, then why did you kidnap me? I thought you were better than your brother.
Yes, well, it turns out it's actually worse. She practically yelled, streaks of tears on her delicate cheeks.
Oh, so very delicate.
But I am. In fact, my interests toward you are real. As for the reason of why I've brought you here, I'm afraid you'll have to thank Shadow.
Shadow? It was his idea?
She sounded angry, but in truth, she was now even more frightened.
No, it was mine. As a matter of fact, Shadow was against his plan since the beginning. But I managed to change his mind.
His eyes. Thank you.
For no reason.
His eyes. His snaky eyes seemed to show an hint of amusement.
So, how were you the better brother again?
Good question.
Why? Tell me why, for chaos' sake.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a shadow. Tell me why ain't nothing but sex assault. I want inside me. Okay.
Oh my.
Yes, that was terrible. She grew impatient. His gaze was even more near to her. Now, ellipsis, they were almost nose to nose. All of these ellipses, you see.
Because my brother too has a sincere interest in your person, Emiros. And he's also very jealous of me.
Okay.
You caused us a lot of stress, you know.
She was speechless. Ellipsis?
So, I have abducted and brought you her in order to resolve our little dilemma once and for all.
Clearly, this was the only and the best way to do it.
Clearly, I agree.
Clearly,
Of
the
course.
most mature way to do it.
Yes, abduction. That's so romantic. That's so 19th century romance.
It wasn't just an abduction, it was abduction into his rape cave.
I mean,
Clearly, this is the best possible outcome.
okay, guys, I think I know what he's up to. I think basically Shadow saw Beauty and the Beast and thought, oh, this could work for me.
No. He's so Phantom of the Opera. Even better.
Yeah, that's more like it. Because they they had to get the girl.
Well, true, but it says I'm talking about Stockholm Syndrome.
Listen, Beauty and the Beast was never about Stockholm Syndrome. Actually, if you compare what happens in the Disney film or in any versions of it with the actual symptoms of Stockholm Syndrome, you will realize you've been an entitled nerd your entire life. Get a life!
Well said, Madhog. Well said.
Thank you. Anyway, so he's let out a loud sigh.
Basically, we want you to choose one of us.
He
One
concluded,
of us. One of us. One of us.
how about I choose whom to kick in the nuts instead?
Which is both of them. because they share
Exactly.
the same body.
It's a trick question.
I was actually going to say, one of us, it kind of makes me think of Marilyn Manson when he says, one of us, you're one of us.
Hey,
We have seen all pictures of Sonic characters for years. They don't have any nuts.
None that you can
Hey.
see.
I once killed Sonic. No one has managed to do that.
He has a point.
Well, outside of comics at least.
That's the crazy universe in the comics.
Oh, that's the crazy universe. Good to know.
Like that one time Sonic flew over 70 light years across space and hit on the moon and survived that all with nothing but bruises.
Listen, it's comics.
Okay,
Enough
I
said.
kind of want to read them now.
She took all the informations without breaking a sweat. That's not the right expression, but okay. She seemed unnaturally calmed for one who's just been kidnapped by a schizophrenic psychopath. I would agree with that. Fear is slowly subsiding to give space to proper outrage.
Let me see if I got this right. I'm in the center of a typical lame, overseen love triangle.
She quietly asked. And love and triangle are in capital letters, by the way.
Pointing it out doesn't make it any more typical, lame, or overseen.
Agreed.
Unless it was meant to be some kind of comedic parody.
You know what? This would have been a perfect time to have Love Triangle be the title of the fan fiction, and then it would have been a title drop.
But if you, Icipall, look at the top of the page, it is classified as humor/romance.
Let's ignore that and continue on, so...
Authorial intent absolutely was not.
Authorial intent in the context of this particular story is a muddy subject because I think I might have tried to go for both moods at the same time.
Yeah?
He confirmed, not hiding his awkwardness. Oh god, Devar, I'm so sorry for this.
Oh.
Yeah.
She took a very long breath, then added...
Yes! I'm living my dream!
I'm done! I'm done! I'm done forever. This is just not.
This is not how it works.
This is not. Period. This is not. This is not. Okay, listen, I did not intend to write Amy like a female character in a Lars von Trier movie, but here we are. Jeez.
Oh, God.
Who the hell is Last Frontier?
Don't
Listen,
ask.
Movie director.
my Finnish friend, you should do yourself a favor and look it up. Anyway,
I recommend Dancer in the Dark.
I recommend Melancholia if you really want to have a good chuckle.
I shall do that now with my very loud keyboard.
Don't!
Oh, gosh.
Lars von Trier movies, where the death of your child is the least of your problems.
Okay, Lars von Trier movie, when the planet literally dying in collision with a literal embodiment of depression, which is a bigger planet, is the least of your problems.
Okay, let's carry on, guys.
That reaction was totally unexpected. Devar, say it. Understatement? Come
Yes,
on.
Understatement of the century.
For the first time since forever, Mephiles the Dark was taken aback.
What?
His malicious eyes changed into shocked.
Being the center of others' love has always been my forbidden dream. Now you two have realized it.
What is this? Some sort of twisted shoujo manga?
I think it might be, yes.
Well, to be fair, she seems to be rather obsessed with Sonic.
Well,
Not in
fine.
this
Yeah.
universe, she isn't. In this universe, she's obsessed with the idea of love, apparently. Come to think of it, she is basically Harley Quinn.
Maybe this is like a fetish for her, this kind of a kidnapping.
I think we are past that at
Let's
this point.
just carry on,
They
guys.
both do wield hammers.
Her eyes were No! Bad! Bad, Icipall! Bad! Her eyes were shining like burning stars. It was a creepy experience, even for the Lord of Darkness!
And you're not angry with us for turning your life into a nightmare and all that other stuff?
All the other minor stuff! All the other minor stuff!
Admits it.
He admits he's an awful person. It is all forgiven. Will you untie me now?
She innocently asked.
You know, this would have been actually at a good point if this all had been just an act on Amy's part to have the villain just be freaked out by her and untie her, which she then would have used to kick him in the nuts and escape.
It is. It literally is.
I did not expect this.
Let's just carry on, guys.
You did not expect this foresight, admit it.
Yes, not from this thing.
Well, there it is. He pretended to think about it for a minute before answering.
No.
Done.
She muttered. He was pleased.
You're a good actress, I must admit. You almost convinced you were crazy.
Convinced whom? You are not telling who was convinced.
You almost convinced you were crazy, yes. We are missing something here.
I really had that dream.
She added while frowning miserably.
I see.
A few awkward minutes went by. This is...
This is gonna get much weirder.
This is the worst abduction ever.
So, what now?
Amy asked.
You'll have to make a choice or you won't leave this place. At least, not entirely. If you can catch my drift.
Oh my gosh!
He has a chainsaw on the side.
Yeah, suddenly this is turned into Texas Chainsaw Massacres. Or Mobius Chainsaw Massacres.
He said, hinting a glee.
You mean the TV show?
No.
This is going to turn into a musical now?
No.
Darn it.
Yeah, I would have loved a musical.
I
No.
can still turn it into a musical.
No.
She did catch the thread and her heart skipped a couple of beats. Na 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 na.
Boom, 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 boom.
What did I ever do to deserve this? Is
Why
wanting...
did this happen to me?
We are killing the musical right now.
Is wanting to be loved a fucking crime? Oh, what am I going to do now? Wait! I got it!
She assumed...
Can
What?
I ask why that part of the... why all of that entire line is bolded?
Because she's thinking. That is a signaler I use to inform the audience that she's indeed thinking, having a internal monologue, if you will. She assumed a smart expression, which for Amy has to be quite a challenge.
And also, apparently expressions can be smart. Smarter than the person that's giving it.
I think what I really meant to say was either coy or sly.
Yeah, the sly part makes more sense. Anyway. Well, you're certainly a nice guy, Mephi.
Mephi? Okay. Pet names now. She put all the sweetness and sensuality she could manage on that nickname.
I'm feeling dirty.
But Shadow is more sexy. And macho.
Ooh, yeah! Give me the Slim Jim!
Yeah, Shadow is the biggest man cake out of all of you.
He's the cream of the crop.
Seriously, guys, I'm showing you what I call men that I like the look of. Man cakes.
Okay, I know that. I actually borrowed that term of yours for one of my tweets about Labyrinth of Refrain.
Oh, I did not realize that. I should have saw that.
Yes, well, I should have tagged it so that you could see it.
Yes, I'm
anyway.
sure this fic is going to give us all the beefcake we want.
Ish.
Man cake.
Anyway, she concluded. Mephiles found himself deeply hurt in his male pride at her remark.
You mean at the her remark?
At her remark, sorry, I read it right.
What? That emo?
He yelled, clearly pissed by the comparison.
Yep, he made me feel like a real woman.
She venomously added. What's that?
What are you doing?
Me banging my head against my table.
Okay, please stop. It was funny, but please stop.
And he probably loves me. Shall we roll a charisma on that then?
He doesn't love you. You
roll.
only reminded him of his stupid dead girlfriend.
Sadly for Mephiles, that last sentence didn't pass unobserved. When he realized of his mistake, it was already too late. The dull hedgehog's head started pulsing and hurting like hell. So, Icipall, I noticed you don't have a role yet, so would you like being Shadow?
Ooh.
I am usually Shadow,
gonna be
but
good.
yes, I will concede him to you this once.
Shadow, stop.
More energy to that, please.
I
Well,
think you are
I'm in
asking
my
too much.
apartment. I can't yell that much, or otherwise I wake up the neighbors.
At least change the intonation. You are upset.
Shadow, stop.
Much better.
You bastard! How dare you talk to her like that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Shadow. Shadow, have you been smoking?
Yeah, because he's a bad boy and cool.
This is the more adult 90s version.
That's not radical, you bastard. But seriously, reread the sentence, please.
You bastard! How dare you talk of her like that? I've had it of your attitude. I'm taking control right now.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh yeah? Try and stop me. I'm the macho here, and Amy prefers me.
I am speechless.
I beg to differ, brother. Take this.
That's how you want it, huh? Big, long, and hard, eh? Very well. I won't hold back. You're going down.
That part was not
man.
in here. Okay.
Yes, that big long thing.
Guys, I sure hope you liked the Mad Professor starring Eddie Murphy. Because this is what you're getting right now.
It's an improvement over the original.
Well, I still prefer the Jerry Lewis one for a couple of reasons.
I was actually talking about the fic.
Ah, okay, that's fair. That's completely
Okay.
fair. To a casual observer, oh, this is going to be good. To a casual observer, the struggle between two separate minds for the control of a body
Hey, Mephiles.
What?
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
would have seemed more like a portrait of utter madness and self-physical punishment.
Oh my god, I was right.
Yes, like I told you, the Mad Professor starring Eddie Murphy. The hedgehog in front of the now bewildered Amy Rose was beating the crap out of himself.
Hooray! This is the most positive thing in this pic yet.
Not quite what I have imagined, but it worked anyway.
She thought in satisfaction while finally freeing herself from the tight ropes, which were not really all that tight, apparently, that used to tie her wrists at an old rusty pipe of some kind. Only now I am bothered to describe the interior decorations of the shag. Okay?
Yes, it is very important information to know that she was tied at the rusty pipe, not to the rusty pipe.
Fair enough. She took her loyal Pico hammer out of nowhere. With her feminine grace, smashed it on the crazed hedgehog's head, knocking him unconscious. Payback is... I can't finish this line. There is a lady here. Oh, screw you! Screw you! Screw you, narrator. You used the word rape completely liberally, but now you don't want to say bitch. You are an hypocrite. And it's not funny. That's
it's
the
not.
biggest point. Okay, so we have a change of paragraph, which also means, usually, traditionally, in our circle of friends, a change of the guard when it comes to narrating. So Devar will take the reins of narrating, which means I will speak as Amy.
That seems fair.
And it seems that it is Shadow who starts so. Where am I?
Well, looks like the roles has been reversed, damn it! No, let me try again. Looks like the tables have been tarnished. Ah, damn it! Never mind.
The male hedgehog slowly rose his head. His head rose. Okay. The male hedgehog slowly rose his head to stare at a couple of angry emerald green eyes. You know, they look so beautiful.
Shut up, slap.
I think it would be better if you put emerald blue eyes.
There have been some interesting developments over the past few minutes.
No, you see, emerald is green, sapphire is blue.
Yeah. First of all, the abandoned cabin wasn't dark anymore since Amy managed to find a random oil lamp nearby.
Convenient.
Secondly,
What a coincidence.
the one tied up against his own will wasn't the pink hedgehog. I mean, it'd be very hard for Amy to be a man because she's a she, not a he. But anyway, anymore but
I am a man! Punch!
Any more but her captor, the crafty female has been able to use a very convenient chain she found around to lock him at the same rusty pipe she was tied on in the first place.
Damn it, Mephiles, this happens when you don't clean your room like Mom told you. Or was it Dad? I don't remember. I don't care. I'm a rebel. Woo!
This is a classic example of Amy Rose taking note from puzzle adventure game protagonists.
Also, Shadow, Mom always used to tell you not to smoke. It ruined your voice. It ruined your lungs. You should have listened.
Shut up. Don't tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You're not my real mom.
Shadow doesn't have a mom.
Well, technically he has two dads, but that's an argument for another time.
Thirdly, the male hedgehog had a giant, painful headache, and that's always a burden.
And that's a no good.
Tell me, who are you now, Shadow or Mephiles?
The reasonably piff.
This is going in the vault.
This turned into a crossover with Back to the Future.
I did not mean to say piffed. I don't know why that came out.
No, you meant to say biff.
The reasonably pissed off pink hedgehog asked, or better, demanded to know.
Ooh, demanded. So assertive.
Her unwilling interlocutor gave a good look at
someone
himself.
brought up the thesaurus.
Thanks to the light from the oil lamp.
There wasn't even a thesaurus yet at the time. At least not that I know of.
Thanks to the light from the oil lamp, he could see his features pretty well. His fur was pure black and his arm stripes were red.
I'm Shadow. Shadow the Hedgehog.
I like to think that Shadow had to look at himself before he realized, oh yeah, I'm Shadow. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Ultimate life form.
I am Shadow.
You can't say one without the other.
I am Shadow. Shadow the ultimate elfy life form.
He replied. There was no mistake about it. Her gaze didn't change.
We have a lot to talk about, and neither of us is going to leave Oh, wow, L-I-V-E.
Oh,
Okay, we are trapped in purgatory, apparently.
Hey, we were joking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre part. It wasn't supposed to become real.
No, this is Silent Hill now. Neither of us is going to leave until we cleared this situation once and for all.
2 shall enter, 1 shall leave.
Or none, if this is Romeo and Juliet.
Wait, no, even better. 2 shall enter, 3 shall leave.
No.
Well, they are free technically already.
She declared, serious determination in her voice.
3 shall enter, 4 shall leave.
Damn it, Madhog, this is not the human centipede.
That's not the joke. That's not what the joke was about. Okay.
Shadow, your line.
And what if I refuse to cooperate?
The black and red hedgehog challenged. She showed him her hammer.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
hi.
not until the 4th date.
Mm.
Okay, I'll cooperate.
He immediately replied, apparently absolutely afraid of her hammer suddenly.
Didn't I ever tell you that I have phobia about hammers? They killed my family. You
Well,
see, my father worked at the construction company, and at one time there was this badly misplaced hammer, and one of the other workers pushed it and it fell down, cracking his skull open while I was visiting. I could see all the blood and brain matter just spread out all over my body.
I can't help but imagine now, instead of a gun being pointed at Maria Robotnik, instead a hammer was like just over her head.
Now it was Mario going frenzy with the hammer. I must kill the Mario brothers. It is the ultimate revenge.
No, that was the forked stub.
Let's move on, please.
Yes, let's move on.
What do you want to talk about? My amazing macho-ness? I can talk about that for days.
He then added... She paused a second to collect her thoughts. I mean, the macho-ness was very tempting. Anyway, she hadn't really thought
Macho
of
madness. It's a macho madness.
She hadn't really thought of what to discuss with him. There were a lot of things that were crossing her mind. Lots of possible questions she could ask, and lots of possible answers she could or could not receive. Then it clicked in her mind. There was a certain something that bothered her. An argument that both the two brothers considered an taboo. Especially Shadow. She braced herself and finally asked the question.
Will you marry me?
I was about to say that myself.
I was actually going to guess that this time turned into a crossover with the DC universe.
Oh, the question.
What's the meaning of life?
Do you ever feel not so fresh?
No! Who is Maria Robotnik?
After a few moments of silence, Shadow sighed.
Don't sigh too hard, Shadow. You have a condition.
He'd seen this coming a long
time ago.
He knew he would have been forced to relive those terrible memories. Not showing.
Why did this happen to me? I made some
To tell someone the truth, he took a very deep breath.
Maria Robotnik was a direct ancestor of Dr. Eggman, without a point, and the creator of both Mephiles and myself.
He calmly muttered. Amy Rose's mouth was Amy Rose was mouth agape and visibly shocked at the revelation. It was totally unexpected.
I mean, like, Totally unexpected. That two people with the same surname are like related or something.
Also, it's not like it's a completely well-known fact within the Sonic fandom. Not at all.
Wait, Eggman had nothing to do with the creation of Mephiles.
No. Ignore what you know about the Sonic canon.
Yes, knowing what you know about the canon will not help you. The canon is not your friend here.
The canon cannot save you.
The black ultimate life form started his tail.
Oh no, it's flashback time, everybody. Woo!
Oh, Shadow, you have a long monologue.
Is that the monologue or just the narrator talking?
It's Shadow recounting the events. May I take over here the role for a bit?
Be my quest. Be my quest.
Be my quest.
Be my guest, you mean?
Yes, we just messing with you.
Yes.
I don't even get what's... Okay, whatever. Okay, Ito.
And the beast.
I totally did not mispronounce that word. No, I speak good English.
It all began more than 50 years ago in a secluded scientific research facility in the middle of Overland called the Ark of the Alliance.
Because we're all about a pretentious Christian symbolism.
You've probably heard this name in some random theme song. Why are you bringing up the meta-knowledge of the Eggman theme song here?
Why are you asking that, Madhog? You are the author, you should know.
I know, and that's the problem.
Or are you standing in front of a mirror right now and asking yourself that?
That's one way of putting it. What I am really doing is distancing myself from the work to see it with fresh new eyes. Anyway, the purpose of the Ark was to create the ultimate weapon. A biological killing machine that would have revolutionized the whole concept of military warfare. The key to control chaos energy itself. A Chinese finger trap.
I would have loved to see that military meeting. Gentlemen, we shall weaponize hedgehogs.
Great idea, great genius, brilliant, take all my money.
So in this continuity, their first try wasn't a giant space lizard.
No such thing. Even I thought that was dumb. To obtain infinite power and control over everything has always been humanity's greatest delusion and sin. Supported by G.U.N finances, the Ark staff was able to conduct its experiments with raw chaos energy on living specimens. Mobians like you, innocent people secretly abducted from their homes in Station Square. Yeah, you heard me right. Station Square.
That was the only place we abducted people.
The world's great melting pot, the utopia that both Mobians and humans used to share, and still do technically, was originally built for that purpose. To get free lab mice.
I'm sure there could have been some less expensive way of getting your subjects than building an entire new
I'm sure there was, but you did not want to get unwanted attention for it.
Yeah, I was going to say that why just not use animal testing, but Mobians are technically animals, I guess.
Can't the press.
I get it.
Due to the instability of chaos, most of them found a horrible end after being exposed on its energy. Only one sample has been able to survive. A hedgehog. The humans used his blood and the energy of the green Chaos Emerald in their possession to create a new life form. That marked the beginning
life form
of Project Shadow.
All hail Shadow.
I don't know about you, but this feels like I'm ripping off The Secret of Nim somehow.
That was probably at the forefront of your mind at the time.
Well, that's basically any given secret experiment story.
Anyway, change of paragraph, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Matti!
Amy Rose was listening intently. Utter amazement was in her eyes, but also unbelievable rage.
This is so amazing!
It sounds like Mephiles is narrating right now, though.
Well, okay, I go to my Tony J voice. Those humans, how could they do such thing to moments like her? They were all the same as Eggman.
Scandinavian Tony J, everybody! Yay!
Hey, I mean, I could try a Tony J myself.
This is so confusing to listen to.
Where is Maria in all of this?
She was the head scientist of the facility.
Okay, that happened. That's different from what I remembered.
He answered visibly ashamed.
A Robotnik is always a Robotnik.
Amy venomously thought. Shadow continued the story.
I've never known who the donator was. He or she probably died a little later on or whatever. The important thing was that from his/her, I could say they, but I was not enlightened at the time about pronouns, her DNA sample, Maria and her staff were able to fulfill their purposes and create a new life. 2 new lives, as a matter of fact. 2 twins. Ellipsis. Mephiles and myself. Hey, Icipall, would you like to narrate this time around?
What voice should I use?
Normal voice, please.
The pink hedgehog gulped.
Yes, Amy, we used to be 2 separate beings. We grew up in the same status tube until that accident occurred. Yes, I'm also Shadow for this paragraph, in case it wasn't clear.
Damn Mephiles wouldn't stop crying in the next tube. I show him by kicking him into my brain. Then we'll see who this idiot is. Wait. What accident?
She practically was begging him to continue.
Please continue, this is such an interesting story!
Yes, Daddy, please continue. He almost seemed amused by this.
During our stasis phase, we were almost constantly irradiated with the energy of the emerald through some kind of complicated machine.
No,
One day,
I'm radioactive. That can't be good.
Miss Shadow! Shadow smash! One day, however, the unstable power of the jewel caused the machine to override. An explosion followed and then, well, let's just say we received more energy than we bargained for and ended up as forced roommates.
And that is how Shadow became a superhero.
I was going to say that this is the unofficial sequel to The Room.
Oh, hi, Mephiles. How is your sex life? Same as yours, Shadow. I am you.
Oh, hi, Mephiles. I did not see you there because I cannot see you because you are in my head. Ah.
What a story, Mephiles.
She tilted her head to one side.
What? Were you expecting an overcomplicated explanation involving some sloppy philosophical concept, like the meaning of life, or rather, such mambo-jambos?
A bit late for that.
Yes.
It's not like that has been the only type of explanation we've been getting. He dully added.
Sometimes things are easier than they look, 'cause even in a chaotic world, like this.
I can't help but think when he says looks that he went for Popeye for a brief moment.
Yeah, the things are amazing and then it looks...
Actually, let me see if I can do that. Like, I'm shit to hit you. I'm gonna get me girl.
The ultimate life form.
This British dub of Popeye is very interesting. As she resumed her previous position,
Please, continue.
she simply said, sitting down beside him and hugging her knees, her only true friends.
That's pretty sad, actually.
Only my niece can help me walk around. They're the only things that want to help me in life.
They are the only things holding me up. The tied-up shadow sighed again before concluding his story.
Me and... Yeah, okay. Me and Maria used to share something special. Something forbidden. Gosh. Despite her cruel job, her true personality was anything but sadistic. Oh, she's like Rio's mom in Baggy the Monster of Mighty Nature, then.
Oh, gosh.
She was a joyful, enthusiastic young girl who was really into the whole torturing and killing small animals, you see. Such passion about her work. Who had a dream? You and her are so similar in parentheses, by the way. She wanted to create the perfect being for helping people, not for harming them. Is this the same premise as that one idiotic shark film where they have manipulated the genes of sharks because they wanted to cure cancer?
Oh, Deep Blue Sea.
Yes, that's one.
Is that the one where Samuel L. Jackson gives a big heroic speech and then gets eaten?
Yeah.
Yes, it's great. I love it.
Yes,
I remember that one.
Directed by a Finnish guy.
My friend Hirat reviewed that movie years ago when Kool Ape was a thing, still.
Okay. Her goal was to find the cure for every disease known by man or mob, and I was right on the money here. Jeez. And use my DNA in order to achieve that purpose.
The ultimate DNA.
The ultimate cancer butt kicker.
How old is Maria supposed to be?
I think she might be in her mid-20s in this continuity. I don't know, I'm not sure.
Because she was talking about young girl.
Is, what, 50 years old?
Oh, okay.
She used to confess me her deepest and darkest thoughts. She told me about my unique birth and the brother I had trapped in my head. She also told me about all the victims of her experiments and how she felt horrible for them. Yes, you know what? Dr. Alphys, you are not.
This is more like Dr. Danny.
Dr. Danny!
Yes, Dr. Danny!
Danny! It's an inside joke, essentially.
From Angels of Death.
Yes, in the end, Maria was the only human that treated both Mephiles and me as living beings, not as weapons. Oh no, I get it now. This is supposed to be Trigun. Oh, no, everything. And now Trigun. Oh no.
No. Just no.
I loved her. You may think I'm crazy, but I didn't give a damn about being of a different species, or having been artificial made, for that matter. And
Hey, for all his faults, at least Shadow is not a speciesist.
And, amazingly enough, and this is the kicker, she loved me back! I guess my machismo was too much for her simple human, inferior, non-ultimate human life form mind.
And Amy leaves.
The time I've spent inside the Ark, growing up and improving my skills with my inner brother and her company were the best years in my life. Maria and I even pushed our relationship beyond certain limits. Some forbidden limits.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go into my happy place. Gonna go into my happy place and just imagine violins being played.
There is no happy place. There is no show. There is only Sonic the Hedgehog.
I've become desensitized to most of these things.
I mean, I have really myself. I mean, you know, it's...
We are trying to put on a show here, you see?
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Hey, stop it with the glass.
Oh no, this is so horrifying. Ah. Better.
Uh-huh. I see that you're stunned. He 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 he. Ha ha ha. I can understand that. Interspecies love isn't exactly what nature had in store for us. But, you know what? Screw nature, I have money! Screw nature, I wasn't naturally born. So there.
Screw nature, I've got harpoon.
Shut up, nature. You're not my real mom.
No, actually, his real mom is his lover.
Ooh.
I think that's more of a nursemaid.
No, she very much created him.
So if you sleep with a scientist that created you, is that incest?
Yes.
You know what the internet says? Incest is wincest.
Internet used to say that at the time this was written, actually.
They still say it.
No, they don't.
They do.
Unfortunately, they do. Except, although they usually use the form twincest is wincest.
We've made our own decisions. And unfortunately, we faced the consequences.
Dun-dun-dun.
We've been discovered and everything went loose. Oh my.
Including the baby she was having.
The whole project has been shut down. G.U.N. Wait, G.U.N is a person? G.U.N. personally intervened to arrest all the scientists involved. Myself and Maria tried to escape, but she was shot in the process. She died in my hands, muttering my name through tears. Her tears and mine's. Her fresh blood engulfed my trembling hands.
Ellipses.
That's when it happened. That's when I've lost control of my body for the first time. That's when Mephiles came out and killed everybody in the facility. Militaries, scientists, everybody. No one was spared.
What
He
am
was...
I fighting for?
He was the manifestation of my hate and rage. He avenged Maria for the both of us. He suffered as well. After that day, I've realized that I had no place in this world. I wasn't human and I wasn't Mobian. I was just a weapon. Both me and my brother were. We surrendered ourselves to G.U.N. and became their agents. That makes no sense with whatever it is you just said. You said you don't belong anywhere within the human world or the Mobian world, and they are the ones who killed Maria, and now you're working for them because, I don't care about anything anymore.
Oh, you're right. This is a comedy.
It's a comedy of errors with the eyes of Macbeth.
It's extremely error-filled. The rest, as they say, is history. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle, blah 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 blah.
Also, I've only just realized one thing. Me and Mephiles totally had threesomes with her.
That was totally awesome, man! Bro!
Yeah!
Bro, you don't even know, bro. Okay.
It's like...
Okay, enough. It's like nothing. Moving on. Okay, so new paragraph. I shall resume narrating.
Okay.
He closed his eyes, desperately trying to hold back his tears, expecting her to turn in disgust, or yelling at him, or even hitting him with her hammer, but little did he expect all of the above. To his surprise, nothing of this happened. He opened his eyes to look at the figure set near him. She was crying, "Tears of blood!" No, tears of sadness. Tears of sadness and sympathy descended from her gentle eyes. She approached him a little bit more, and then she hugged him tightly.
And tighter, and tighter, and tighter, and tighter.
And he was dead.
Until there was nothing.
He was sincerely taken aback by her sudden behavior, and what shocked him even more was the fact that he would have voluntarily hugged her back if he wasn't tied up with a steel chain. That is, that's kind of cumbersome.
Oh, Shadow. And you, Mephiles.
This totally justifies your rapey behavior.
Oh, you wouldn't be so rapey if someone had just loved you.
She started to say. The both of them were listening intently, while the disputed girl was embracing their common body.
If I knew this was happening, I would have been wearing my super rare body.
Even if you caused me lots of troubles over the past month and a half.
Rape.
And even if one of you tried to rape me and the other kidnapped me.
This is comedy gold, she continued. The two brothers felt quite ashamed and embarrassed by that remark, at the very least.
Gee, you don't say.
You're awful.
Oh, this is just getting better and better. Just wait for the next paragraph.
In some way, some twisted way, both of you made me feel so special.
Made feel so special.
So desired. So wanted. And that's all I wished for in my entire life. To be loved.
This is Angels of Death levels of writing, everybody.
I'm trying to act serious about this, but I'm cringing every time I read this.
As you should.
This does not deserve seriousness. This is black comedy. If you have to take this whole thing by face value, this indicates quite some messed upness in Amy's head and emotional stability.
It is. She needs help. She tightened the embrace while still sobbing. Then she neared her soft mouth to the hedgehog's ear and whispered the magical words in it.
I love you both.
Say what?
Saying what?
Madhog.
Yes, I'm still here, somehow.
Yes, you still have to
turn.
continue.
Okay, before continuing, I want to address this. One of my biggest pet peeves, as if to say one of my biggest criticisms to find in modern media, is the issue relating to framing. Because more often than not, I come across a horrible, dehumanizing, toxic relationship in a given show or film or what have you, and it's framed like it's a light-hearted, honky-dory comedy meant to be comically dysfunctional. And that is the wrongest possible thing. Now you see where I am coming from. I myself made that awful mistake as a writer, and I am trying to rectify my past self by eviscerating this garbage that's in front of me. Okay? It's not a shield against the criticism.
Never run for office, because if you do, this is what your political enemies will pull from the internet against you. And then the world will know.
Oh, yeah, okay, yes, sure, that's topical. The two twins were absolutely amazed by this revelation.
I'll tell you that.
She smiled at them in her own sweet way. Then her lips met theirs. This is not consensual! This is not consensual!
Touch.
Sonic told to run if you are being bad touched.
Oh wait, he can't run. She's chained up.
He's chained up.
That's why I said he's chained up.
No, you said she's chained up, but I understand your confusion.
Shadow Mephiles combo is supposed to be the ultimate life form, but he can't break some basic steel chains or one rusted pipe. Yes.
Good point.
This is the most advanced biological weapon ever created by man.
Well, what if he's only just doing this because he likes to be tied up by a girl he likes?
Maybe we'll find out if we continue. She quietly kissed them. Or better, she kissed the Shadow, but it was intended for both. But, you know, Shadow is getting it. So, score! From inside their common mind, Mephiles felt it too. And it was wonderful! So
Damn it,
peaceful.
brother. Stop making those sounds when you are in my head.
And so perfect.
I can't help it.
Oh god.
When she released him, the black hedgehog's face was the picture of dumb happiness. It was so uncharacteristically of him.
Just like all the other fanfictions of Shadows.
Pretty much. What even is his character? That's the first question you should be asking yourself.
Dark and edgy.
That means that you're going to untie us?
Hey, that was mine.
Oh, right.
You are the narrator, or did you already forget? Is this fic causing you brain damage?
Yes, it is.
That means that you are going to untie us?
He casually asked. She openly laughed at him. Okay.
Bitch.
Guess not.
He concluded. She started leaving.
EHI, are you going to leave us here?
He asked in alarm. She turned her head and sweetly smiled.
You two are ultimate life forms, right? You'll certainly figure out a way to escape.
Well,
You see?
apparently not.
She innocently said, while blinking her left eye at them.
Besides, I get off on people trying to escape a room by themselves.
So many feared fetishes piled up after another.
I mean, see you around, guys.
I mean, maybe we learned that this was just a weird roleplay on their part, and it was all just makeup.
Yes.
That was the twist all along, sure, why not? She launched them.
We wish.
She launched them a kiss, and then she exited the cabin, leaving the two of them alone and still tied up. Shadow smiled.
Woman.
Women.
No, it's women in both cases, okay?
Yes.
Women if it's plural.
Yes.
I know. That was a joke.
No, it was not. Both the twins complained before the black and red hedgehog easily broke free from the tying chain. So there you go!
They could have broke easily, but decided not to and just let her have it.
Oh, this is kinky. I like where this is going.
Yeah, also, can I just say that I really detest when, actions are designated to certain genders. Like, that's a common thing that gender does, even though the other gender does it too.
I know. It's called having double standards and having certain characters and genders being written by men since the beginning of time. When you let the patriarchy define what a gender can or cannot do, this is the end result. Inaccuracy. Or, forced upon stereotypes.
Yeah.
At the base. Oh, let's see what the good guys are doing.
Who will be the voices?
Matti, do you want to be Scandinavian Tails?
Where is Amy?
Asked the worried two-tailed fox. Who? Nobody cares about Amy! Oh my god!
I mean, I care about Amy, just not this version.
I just completely forgot that she exists! I have no words! Such good friends!
That is the personification of Sonic's Shadow fandom.
Never.
Sonic, what about Amy? Who?
As if on cue, the object of Tails' sudden preoccupation entered the room, looking unnaturally happy, even for her. Oh, so you see, this was the tail end of the previous story, and it's connected with this particular happening in real time.
Hey, hi guys! You wouldn't believe what happened to me. I finally found the true love, and why are you staring at me like that?
That's because we saw everything through the security cameras.
No,
Lady, you need help. Seriously.
no. That's because... Who are you? What are you doing here? How have you found the base? Oh, it's just Amy. Oops. Yes, that was the intended joke.
In the forest.
Let's see. Oh, okay. I think I know who this is. It's your favorite character in the whole world. About time you shut up and you solved your heart problems.
Shut up! This is none of your business!
Yelled a distressed Shadow.
Thankfully, your business is so stupid.
Desire to kill raccoons rising.
Responded his interlocutor.
This is actually the voice I settled to give to Cosmo.
Right.
No, wait, what am I saying? Not Cosmo, the other one. Void. Yes,
Void.
You know, which at the time was my favorite character to write for.
There was always tension between the two of them, even if they were allies.
They need to get a room.
Especially after the crimson-eyed hedgehog had been introduced to the new recruit.
Well, there is a perfectly cool cabin in the woods right over there.
It's occupied.
That lavender cat he barely knew as a freedom fighter.
So,
He started to say, fixing his gaze to the newcomer.
ellipses. Does she understand that we'll probably have to fight her former friends?
The plant creature, better known as Void, turned his head to look at the cat girl behind him. Blaze was set on a low tree branch, playing with one of her fireballs, while pretending to ignore their conversation. The Cedrian just smiled.
I have just been reminded about the best and most naturally, organically developed romance in this entire story. Oh my gosh.
Sonic and Tails.
No, Void and Blaze.
Yes,
I wish I was joking.
Yes, I can just see the burning passion between them.
It is burning, alright.
Duh, that was the joke.
Oh no.
Void.
Don't worry about her. She's definitely ready. What about you?
Damn it, Madhog, you said it wrong. It's definitely.
Oh, you're right. It's
Shame on-
definitely ready. Definitely ready. Definitely so stupid.
Void asked the hedgehog back. Shadow smirked and took out from his quills 2 gems.
Wait, so he had just smashed those things through his quills? They are going to be ruined.
He always pulls out emerald out of his squeals in the games.
Yes, he does. The green and the yellow chaos emeralds. Void's face showed satisfaction.
Oh,
It-
yes.
He then put one of his big clawed hands on the red gem he had on his chest.
Oh, yes, this is the good stuff.
Along with my own, we have 3 emeralds now. Tails and the other freedom fighters have already 2. And it won't be long before the last 2 will manifest themselves. We're so near.
He said without hiding his excitement.
I am so excited.
Your master still has to fulfill his end of the bargain, kid. Don't forget that ellipsis.
Don't forget that ellipsis, okay?
The ellipsis is the best character and the most consistent one too.
Just like vacant in wrestling.
Oh gosh.
I think the author is trying to make him being a bit too forceful with him. He's like in every other paragraph.
Sorely, added the hedgehog.
Do not worry. Once we have all the emeralds, all of our dreams shall become reality.
And then he laughed. A villain laugh for no apparent reason.
What a story, Shadow.
Shadow was annoyed, and Blaze just sighed. And the story was far from being over.
Dun dun dun
Dun dun dun dun dun dun dun dun.
To be continued.
Continues on Knuckles.
Yeah, it continues on my knuckles. I am reading it right now.
Yes, okay, so this is the title of the next chapter in this travesty. The one shot about Knuckles having his own journey of discovery and self-discovery, which was set up in the previous story as well. That is the last stop before the real final part of this saga.
I'm looking at the reviews for this fic.
Oh gosh.
We'll get to them in due time, but let me finish here. So, this story, this chapter here was garbage, let's not mince words about it, but to my surprise, especially after how much I built it up, it was not even remotely as bad as, say, Silver and Blaze was. You might want to agree with that, or not, it's your choice, but I think it's slightly less awful. If only because it subverts a couple of awful expectations with equally awful outcomes. Slightly less awful outcomes, I should say.
Kidnapping, but almost getting to the second part, which never happened, which is thankful for that.
Yes, and then there is a role reversal and all of that. So that's that. Now, the real danger, the real obstacle will be the next chapter, will be the Knuckles one-shot, which we'll not be covering tonight. Thankfully, because let me tell you, that requires a stomach of tungsten. It's bad. It's really, 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 really bad. It's unfathomably terrible. Do you want to take a look at the reviews?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gee, golly, yes, Mr. Madhog.
I almost read them all.
Okay, so this is going to be a genuine reaction for me, at the very least, to reread these classic reactions. And, okay, so the first one says, continue, period, this, period, story, period. You get the idea. It's an Mephiles love story. Whomever commented on this was not aware of the context for it, obviously. They thought this was all about that love triangle or polyamory relationship.
Yeah.
And this comment was written over 4 years ago, and it is the latest one.
Yep, it is the latest one. In 2015, this person was very late to the party, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Next one. This reminds me of Jekyll and Hyde. That is the most basic comment, but okay.
I think it's more hide and hide.
Good point. It's Hyde and Hidest.
I would have taken Mephi in this rather crazy love triangle. Then again, it's just my opinion. That's the next
Okay.
review says.
Okay, do you want to read this one, Icipall?
Good, good, good.
I loved it. I especially like the way Amy takes control of Shadow and Mephiles.
I bet you that's the only thing you liked about it.
And Matti.
Oh my gosh! The first honest review I've seen.
Yeah, but look at the reason why.
What the fuck is this shit? You are the most stupid and ignorant pointer I've ever seen. Shadow would never do this, you bastard.
So,
gosh.
I appreciate the honesty and, quite frankly, deserved reaction here, but it's for the wrongest possible reasons, so screw you! WTF, just dropping the story? Finish it, damn it, it's good. Again, what part of to be continued on Knuckles do you not get?
Well, considering that whoever wrote this did not understand how to use commas properly or capital letters.
Listen, it's a review on fanfiction.net, so don't expect intellectual, satisfactory readings, you know?
Yeah.
Well, the reviews I wrote in fanfiction.net were always fair.
Oh, well, good for you, good for you. And I thought that I am the only one who likes Amy per Mephiles. There are some parts that I am irked about, but almost all of it are typically hilarious. Though
Yeah, hilarious.
I'm quite disturbed when Shadow told her that they pushed some forbidden limits, but it did give me a good laugh. Overall, I love it.
Hey, remember guys, put humor on your fanfiction. People will think it's hilarious because they think you're joking.
This story is funny, in a perverse way. I have mixed emotions for this piece. One part of me argues that this was funny and that I should take this story lightly. Yet again, my other side, my romantic side, condemns this story as defiling the true meaning of love. Rape? Not my idea of affection, my good sir. It is greed, definitely lust, not love. Lust is a shallow and selfish. Love is deep and selfless, just providing food for thought. I would like to give an award for the most pretentious review I've read in quite some time.
Well,
I love you.
Especially since the name of this person is like...
Don't say its name.
Well, it's a reference to a very particular popular poet.
It's a reference, it's a very specific reference to Edgar Allan Poe's poem about the raven, which is titled The Raven.
Yes.
And I said too much. Heh, some humor. Well, for me anyway, I like this one shot. Great, in fact, I'll favor it.
No!
No, what have you done? You destroyed the world.
Finally, a fanfic for me.
I'm starting to get the idea that many people thought that this was some
comedy,
kind of dark comedy.
I mean, I wrote it up in the tags: comedy and romance.
What does this mean? This story has been marked as complete. I hope you actually mean it this time. This donator, I wonder. With no question mark, by the way.
Okay, this is from the actual time in which it was written and posted, so this person is missing the context. It is all their fault for that.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's our good friend, the guy who comments in all of my stories.
You like to skip around a lot, don't you? Oh well, it is your style, I guess.
No, it's just bad writing.
Then why you kidnap me? You need a verb in front of half of a sentence usually, and it should be there on this one. Did would be appropriate if you place it between why and you.
Okay, stop it. Don't read this one. This one is legitimately giving me pointers for grammatic correctness.
Okay, but I'm gonna read the ending. Okay, this story was pretty sweet. There was a bit more romance. My kind of story.
Ah!
I'll read Knuckles later. Sleep is now.
Hello,
Cool,
police.
cool. Only one chapter? That sucks. Oh well, it was awesome. I was kinda let down here, but you did write it well. So you get a cookie. Congrats. 10 out of 10. Hurry up and write the next chapter. I am beside myself with anticipation.
I wonder if this guy is trying to be sarcastic or serious.
No, this guy is pretty much invested in my story. I recognize the name. It's been commenting pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Great story, man! This is great! And gee, so much! Keep up the awesome!
The hammer in the head part was gold. I have this great visual of Mephiles punching himself in the head. Then the Pico Pico hammer comes down on him. An explosion of stars and all that other knockout stuff, including birds, and then it goes black. Look forward to the next part.
I'm sorry, do you want to write my story? Please come on board.
Well, it would take an actual effort to make it any worse.
I actually know this writer, and I've read some of her stories. She's a fan of Mephiles, that's all I'm going to say.
Alright.
Wow, this was a great birthday present! Oh yeah! I forgot to tell you today is my birthday! What a perfect birthday present! A awful fanfiction! I cannot think of anything better than that.
10 years from the future, we might like to just say, we are sorry.
That's like me just going up to, Leonardo da Vinci in the past going like, oh, this is a great birthday present for me, the Mona Lisa!
Yoink! Stealing it! Okay, I appreciate the sentiment though.
Yeah.
Alright, so that is the end of our reading of that one story, and I guess that is the end of tonight's recording. Not! Because I have a small surprise for you all.
Oh no.
Gasp!
Oh yes, and it's actually thematically linked to this whole mess. For the most unexpected of reasons, because I fumbled upon a certain webcomic, and, well, let's just say I was surprised by it. You will see.
Is this going to be a comic adaptation of your fic with just names and characters slightly changed?
I know you are joking, but...
No, I'm being 100% serious. I'm just looking at the first page and...
That's the reaction I had. So, when I fumbled upon this webcomic titled Felinia, I will not tell you how I found it, but regardless, when I fumbled upon this comic, the first thing I thought, just looking at the cover, was this. Oh wow, this must have been somebody's very first comic that they must have drawn all the way back to the mid-2000s. As it turns out, this comic began last year.
Yep, 2017, back in August.
Now, I don't want to be a mean-spirited jerkbag and rip apart somebody's hard work. I will try to provide some honest criticism here, but the real reason why I wanted you to take a look at this comic is, well, for how it starts.
It says in the first page's comments that the author originally made this comic in 2014, but decided to go back and rework the beginning, be more like how they envision it now.
Oh, she reworked the beginning. Well, in that case, it's open season, guys. It's open season because this comic is something else. Let me tell you.
Cover posted August 16, 2017. The first page of the prologue posted July 11th, 2018. There is 150 pages and the latest page was posted July 19th, 2017.
We're only going to focus on the first few pages because they are the pages that have the hard task of introducing and establishing its own world and characters. They are the most important in that regard. Before I begin, let me tell you a little bit about where I live. Felinia. Land of enchantment. All the last remaining life on Earth lives here, this small land, mass, sitting atop the ocean. Felinia is a land of rich histories and great mysteries, but most importantly, it can be traced back to the dawn of our kind, the age of animal civilization. This sounds oddly familiar to me for some reason. I wonder why.
This new mod for civilization seems to be pretty radical.
It began with the Great Wipeout, the mass extinction of the previous dominant race on Earth. Then miraculously, a new dominant species— this is my fanfiction! I was flabbergasted, mouth agape, and taken aback overall to find out how eerily similar this premise is to the very way I started my terrible Tales fanfiction. You've read it, guys! You were there! You can see the similarities for yourself! Look at this!
Reminds me of a 1930s short animated movie where humanity wiped itself out and then an animal suddenly got intelligent or something.
Now I think about it, it's a very popular thing. I mean, actually two things I should mention. One is the similarities are there, but the only difference is that humanity wiped itself out by the looks of it, which I am dreaded to say was actually the plot of the point-and-click adventure game Inherit the Earth, which also starred anthropomorphic animals who basically became the dominant race.
I mean, this comic already has a massive continuity error by saying the new dominant species is cats, and everyone knows that can't be true because cats already are the dominant species.
There are more problems related to this origin story that we will find out pretty much immediately as we turn the page, so to speak. To my knowledge, apparently this very specific premise of animals taking over the Earth after humanity is pretty— well, it's not
common.
Exactly typical or common, but it's not as rare as I made it out to be. It's pretty uncommon, but it has been done a few times. Matti just pointed out that classic 1940s cartoon by MGM titled Peace on Earth, which was essentially a cautionary tale about what will become of humanity with all the warring and killing, which is to say, all dead. And animals inherit the world, and they use the good book, which is the Bible, to do things right. Listen to this. Apparently, for what it is established here, the less evolved species, which is to say the feral animals that did not evolve into anthropomorphic animals, are sent to the forest, right? And by that logic, the Anchuros, we are going to use the fandom official term, are the ones rebuilding civilization, right? By that logic, the feral animals could be considered regular animals, and the anthropomorphic animals are the evolution from that. So they are essentially the new humanity, if you want to be pedantic about it. Keep that in mind, because we go to the next page now, and this is how the story proper begins. And it's a trip, everybody. That's the history of Felinia as we all know it. I too have a history, although it starts a bit differently. My history begins with a Felinian and a fox.
Wait, what?
My parents. I am immediately wanting to run away. Wait though, it gets better because, you see, the scenario is thus. This person's mother, you see, it's a typical anthropomorphic cat called a Felinian. She lives in a house with her family. You see, she's wearing human clothes, she's cleaning dishes.
Yes.
But literally, 2 panels later, she's naked, going on all fours in the forest, and she meets up with a forest fox, and she fell in love with him, and they get together, and she renounces her entire civilization and her entire house and species to go live the wild, feral animal life in the forest. And this all happens in what, 6 panels?
So this indicates one of two things. 1, she committed bestiality, or 2, the Felinian society is extremely racist because the lesser evolved species are also sapient but are forced to live in the wilds outside of the civilized society.
So yes, the fox is sapient, but it's still living like a traditional fox with all the foxy behaviors. The Felinian, though, she was raised like a human being, because that's what essentially is this civilization. They are wearing human clothes, they are inhabiting human homes, they are doing human activities, they are evolved animals, much like humans evolved from monkeys. But no, she said, you know what? I suddenly feel like I should be a wild animal, so I'm going to strip myself naked and go all fours in the forest, and I'm going to mate with a fox and live the wild fox life in a bloody cave, eating raw animals uncooked. And that would be the equivalent of me saying falling in love with a chimpanzee at the zoo, and decided, you know what, I'm going to regress to my primordial state and just eat my own fishes like a chimp would do. And I'm sorry, that takes me out of the narrative instantly. There is something just that doesn't work on a fundamental level in this narrative. Furthermore, and I'm going to spoil this for you, for the next 20 or so pages, for the next chapter and a half, for who knows how many pages, actually, this story completely forgets its own setting. It established this civilization, this Felinian civilization, and as soon as it has done establishing it, it forgets all about it to focus on this nature documentary with a dub over it. That's not good framing and not good storytelling, in all honesty. It's confusing and unfocused, and it just takes me out of the narrative altogether.
So what was the point of cats evolving into Felinians and pretty much becoming the new humanity again?
Exactly! Exactly! You hit the nail on the coffin, because there seems to be no point in this stage of the story. This could have easily been just a story about 2 foxes living in the forest, talking like humans, but otherwise acting like animals. But because this story went out of its way to establish a human-like anthropomorphic animal civilization, only to forget about it, that's where the problems arise. But anyway, yes, I wanted to share this story with you briefly because I was just shocked at how similar the initial premise, the prologue, was to my own fanfiction. And it really speaks volume about how clever I thought I was at the time. So yes, there is that. Well, anyway, this has been fun and everything. Oh, wait, one last detail that I will share with you.
But wait, there's more!
Yes, this is the cherry on top of this cake, by the way. Do you want to know what the Sun's name is? Do you want to know what their cub's name is going to be?
What is the cub's name?
You will never guess. Guess. That's what I'm saying. Guess. Try to guess.
Fox.
No.
Mysterious Mr. Fox.
No, that would be fantastic, Mr. Fox, but no, it's not that.
Is it Gerald?
No.
Is it Tails?
It's Blaze.
Oh.
Oh.
There is no doubt in my mind that this story was initially a Sonic fanfiction that was rewritten to look like original work, and I don't want to slag it too hard. I have my criticisms about it. Maybe it gets better, but I will never know, because after learning that the cub was named Blaze, I quit reading instantly. Never in my life was I a faster quitter in that sense. So yes, this is just such a weird coincidence that makes the world go round, I suppose. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. This has been Madhog the Master, and this has been a weird, unexpected surprise foray into a different kind of fanfiction.
Yes, and I've been Devar Akbaron, who has been joining everybody in this escapade. I'm gonna go do my ultimately fun thing now.
And I've been hidden as the Gagger and
Yeah, sleep.
And I am Icipall, the ultimate life form.
And a newcomer to this entire shenanigan.
Also, I don't know if this is going to go up in time for Halloween. Maybe it will come out later on. Not too later on, hopefully. Because I just realized that this is going to be a very long file to edit. But nevertheless, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to us. It's been fun going back to my roots once again to eradicate and eviscerate said roots.
But speaking about Halloween, and also in honor of the second season of the Castlevania anime series, I am now going to post in the chat a video showing the original animated adaptation of Castlevania's Dracula and Alucard.
No, don't do it. No, you monster! No! Oh, it's okay, I cannot see it. Yes, we all know it's from that one Captain N show. I don't care. Anyway, thank you for joining us, everybody. Again, this has been us, the Team G.U.N Dramatis Lectio podcast. Wishing you a good Hallows Eve, if it's not in time for Hallows of Eve or Halloween. Then happy Day of the Dead, I suppose. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Goodbye, everybody.
Don't write romance stories that center around sexual assault. I shouldn't have to say that. I shouldn't need to say that, but apparently I do. Just don't do it, okay? That's not what Sonic would want. Bye.
Goodbye.